Lesson 10 of DBT Steps A is about learning how to accept reality. This is part of the distress tolerance curriculum. So, accepting reality is important because sometimes things are just the way that they are, and there's nothing you can do to change them. And so, sometimes there's problems in your life, sometimes there's things you can come up, and you just have to learn to accept them as they are. So this is a lesson that's important to teach people, especially people who have a hard time coping with, oh, why does this happen with thoughts like, why does this happen to me? Why are things the way that they are? And sometimes there's no why, there's no how, there's no reason, it's just, this is what it is. So sometimes you have problems in life, like one of my problems right now is having to film this video in my gross basement. And there's different ways I could feel about this problem. I could find a better solution, which I don't have one right now. I could change the way I feel about it. I could say, oh, maybe it's kind of fun. It's like a game. I could just accept it. It is what it is. Continue on. Or I could just be miserable and upset about the fact that I'm sitting in this dirty basement recording this video. You know? So the point of this lesson of radical acceptance is just helping people to just accept the situations they're in so that they can keep going, you know? Because rejecting the reality doesn't change the reality. It doesn't make it go away. So the way to teach this is to have the person think about a problem that they're going through in life right now. So for me, it's an issue I'm having is that I don't have a good place to film videos. So then you go through step by step. Handout 10.3 will show you step by step the processes to go through. So you think about something that you're questioning or fighting reality, okay? And then you remind yourself that the unpleasant reality just is what it is. I don't have a better place to record. I get interrupted by cats. That's okay. You remind yourself that there's reasons for this reality. You know, I can't film in my bedroom because my sister's in there. I can't film in the kitchen because my nephew's doing homework. You think about the reasons that it is the way that it is. And you think about all the steps and things that led up to this moment. And then you just accept it. You think, help them practice mindfulness, find ways to involve the whole body, you know, use relaxation methods, mindfulness, practice breathing techniques, and going to a happy place in your mind, you know. And then you can practice opposite action. You can think about all the behaviors you would do if you did accept the facts. And then, even if you don't believe it yet, you can still engage in those behaviors even if you do believe it. And then you can cope ahead with events that seem unacceptable. So pretend that you're believing what you don't want to accept, and rehearse in your mind what you would do if you did. And, you know, work step by step through these problems. You know, attend to your body's sensations. So what do you think about? So maybe you don't want to film in a basement because it's cold, so you can put on a sweatshirt. You think about ways that make it easier to accept the reality that you're in. And then you can allow yourself to be disappointed with the situation because reality isn't always that great. And you can acknowledge that even though sometimes things aren't the best, life's still worth living. And there is going to be pain, there is going to be disappointments, there is going to be realities that we can't accept, but you just have to learn how to cope with them and deal with them. And that's why this curriculum is important. And it's, you know, something that everyone can learn. And then if you're still, or if your client is still struggling to practice and learn this, you can set up pros and cons lists of accepting the problem as it is, radically accepting it, or continuing to be miserable. And then there's homework exercises for radical acceptance that You're just working through problems that the person has, checking the facts, checking their judgments, you know, and then rewrite their list and just say, I don't like this situation because it's bad. Well, maybe think about it in a non-judgmental way and then work through each problem with them and find ways to help them better accept the situation they're in. And then I have an example of a counseling session. So today we're going to talk about distress tolerance, and we're going to talk about learning to accept reality. So a lot of the skills that we talk about are learning how to change your own behavior in order to change the situation you're in, because there's a lot of situations that we face that we can't change the situation.
Yeah.
You know? So when you have a problem, when you have a serious problem in your life, there are 4 choices that you can make. The first choice is to figure out a way to solve the problem. The second choice is to change the way you feel about the problem. The third choice is just to accept it. And the fourth choice is to stay miserable or make things worse by acting on your urges. So when you can't solve the problem, and there's a lot of problems in life that we cannot solve, then your options are to either change the way you feel about it, stay miserable, or just accept it. So, why would you want to accept a problem? Well, if you just pretend it doesn't exist, it doesn't make the problem go away.
Yeah.
And to change your reality, you have to first accept that that reality exists. Refusing to accept reality can just keep you stuck in the same miserable cycle. It can keep you angry, shameful, sad, bitter. And it doesn't really help you a lot. Yeah. So that's why we talk about radical acceptance. So radical acceptance is learning how to accept the things that you cannot change. So radical means complete and total accepting in your mind, heart, and body. And acceptance means seeing reality for what it is, even if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so acceptance means to acknowledge, recognize, and endure. So you don't give up, you don't give in, but you just stop fighting reality. You know? It's the opposite of saying, why does this keep happening to me? And just saying, things are the way that they are. Because life can be worth living even if painful things happen. So what's one important thing in your life that you could accept right now?
Honestly, that failing sometimes is okay. Well, if you think about it, you need to fail in order to succeed.
That's true.
And a lot of people in life, you know, it's like honestly riding your first bike. You're going to fall over first couple of times, but you eventually get back up and keep riding it. So I think honestly right now, the most important thing in life is you need to accept that failure is okay.
I like that.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I think failure is something that a lot of people are afraid of.
But, I mean, if you just fail and, you know, stay miserable with it, how are you going to just keep going?
Okay. So these are steps to learn how to accept reality. So the first step is to find out what you're questioning or fighting right now. Things that, like, maybe it shouldn't be this way. So what's something that you're questioning right now?
Man.
It's okay if you can't think of something right now.
Yeah. I'm questioning, honestly, about the masks.
Wearing masks at work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I get, like, some places, but for what we do with unloading trucks, I feel like we shouldn't have to, because it gets really warm in the back room, and it's already difficult to breathe with the masks on, so...
It's understandable.
Yeah.
So the second step is to remind yourself that the unpleasant reality is as it is and it cannot be changed. So this is the situation we're in. So now when you unload trucks, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
The third step is to remind yourself that there are reasons for this reality. So there's a reason behind having to wear masks while unloading trucks.
Yeah.
So the fourth step is to practice accepting with your whole self. You can be creative in using ways to involve your whole self, like self-talk, but also using relaxation, mindfulness of your breath, going to a place that helps bring you acceptance. So maybe at work, if you start getting frustrated, you can start thinking about puppies and unicorns.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Funny how you just brought the puppies and unicorns.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then the fifth step is to practice the opposite action. So think about all the behaviors you would do if you did accept the facts, and then just pretend like you already accepted it. So if you just accepted the fact that you have to wear a mask while unloading a truck, then you would just do your job the way you did before. Six is cope ahead with events that seem unacceptable. So rehearse in your mind what you would do if you accepted what's really hard. 7 is attend to your body sensations. Think about what it is you need to accept. So maybe if it's really hard to breathe, you could find something else to help you. Like maybe, I tried chewing gum and I thought that helped a lot actually. So maybe that's something you could try.
Good.
But if you can't, maybe taking a little breather.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I do sometimes, like especially with pulling the heavy items, I just take the mask down and just breathe for like a few seconds.
Yeah. Next step is to allow yourself to be disappointed and to grieve. It is disappointing.
Yeah.
It's hard. And then, acknowledge that even if it is, it's still...
You still do what you gotta do.
Yeah. And then if you find yourself after going through these steps having a hard time still accepting it, you can make a pro and cons list. Okay. So here's some homework. What are 2 very important things in your life right now that you need to radically accept?
2 very important things in my life right now. That there are gonna be some bad days. And, not every day can be a great day. Because, as much as that sounds amazing, there will be some tough days down the road. Whether it's, dealing with all this COVID-19 or just bad day at work or just in general. You just gotta accept there's gonna be bad days happening. And the only way to get through them is just keep pushing through and keeping your head up, which is something that everyone should do.
Yeah.
And the second very important thing you need to accept is can I use the failure thing twice?
Yeah, you can use that again.
Yeah. Well, it's really good to think about too, especially with young kids nowadays. Even young adults, that once they fail, they can't seem to realize that, hey, you can keep trying. They think once you fail, it's over, but it's really not. It's just all about getting back up and starting again.
Yeah, failing at something is the first step to being kind of good at something.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I did, the live stream for my football team last year, and at first it wasn't good, and then the second game, it got over 700 views, which is really nice. So, yeah.
You just gotta keep going.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then when you think about your problems, you can check the facts. You can think about, is this problem an actual thing, or is it just the way I'm interpreting it? And then you can think about your own judgments. avoid using the terms like good or bad. Just, this is the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's radical acceptance.
All right. It's a very, interesting topic to learn about, and I, definitely learned a lot
Yeah.
throughout this video.
Well, I'm glad.